Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Michael Marsalik, the voice of the Missoula Community Concert Band. Happy to be here once again. I'm the program director for Montana Public Radio. I would like to welcome you to the annual Missoula Community Concert Band Spring Concert. MTPR is proud to support great arts organizations like this fine community band, and I hope you will support your favorite public radio station as well starting next week. And I promise not to give out the phone numbers tonight or talk about goat manure. Tonight's program will be presented under the leadership of Lance Boyd. A Minnesota native and graduate of the University of Minnesota, Lance first arrived in Missoula in the fall of 1968 to begin what would become a 45-year teaching career at the University of Montana. During his tenure at the U of M, Boyd directed the marching band, was assistant conductor of the UM Concert Band, and started the renowned UM Jazz program that became his primary focus for the next 40 years. We are honored and delighted that we could coax him out of retirement to conduct this evening's concert. For tonight's program, Lance has chosen pieces which showcase the special attributes and tonal qualities unique to a concert band, as well as pieces with a truly American flavor. Our first piece of the evening, Morton Gould's American Salute, combines all of these aspects, presenting a new view of the quintessential Civil War tune, When Johnny Comes Marching Home, as seen through the prismatic colors of the concert band. And now, to lead us in American Salute, I would like to welcome to the stage our conductor for this evening, Lance Boyd. Prior to the 1950s, the repertoire available to concert bands consisted primarily of arrangements or transcriptions of established orchestral music. Composers such as Clifton Williams were keen to explore the possibilities of music written specifically for the wind ensemble. His 1961 piece, Festival, is a perfect example of this new form, a tour de force in instrumentation, at once both playful and rhythmically energizing. We hope you enjoy the next selection, Clifton Williams' Festival. No concert band concert is complete without a selection by one of the most well-known wind band composers, Percy Grainger. Born in Australia but making his home in the United States, Grainger played a prominent role in the revival of the interest of British folk music in the early years of the 20th century. His Irish tune From County Derry offers a haunting arrangement of the tune popularly known as Danny Boy. Here then is Percy Grainger's Irish tune From County Derry. next selection this evening, Concertino for Tuba and Band by Dr. Frank Bencusciuto, presents a unique collaboration across time and space. Dr. Ben, as he was affectionately known, was the band director at the University of Minnesota from 1960 to 1993, and his students included both Lance Boyd and our guest soloist, Ben Kirby. Although they studied with him decades apart, they both felt a special connection with their mentor, Dr. Ben, a connection which they share with us tonight. I would like to now welcome to the stage Ben Kirby to join conductor Lance Boyd and the Missoula Community Concert Band in our presentation of Concertino for Tuba and Band by Dr. Frank Bencusciuto.
mind if I goof around with this and sort of express the difficulty of winter at the beginning of this, and then something else entirely when I get done? So a long time ago, I used to, well, sometimes I do. I play in high schools, and a long time ago, I thought up this little concoction, a little invention, and I didn't have a name for it. Now I asked some high school kids to name it, and they came up to me after I played and said, we got the name. And they said, we want you to call it Homie Got Tuba. Anyway, so I sing, I play, I beatbox, and it's all kind of fun. You want to hear it? All around the theme of winter was hard, but spring is here. It was hard.
I would now like to invite Greg Boris, the current president of the Missoula Community Concert Band, to come up and share a few words with us.
Thank you, Michael. Of course, I have to follow that. But isn't Ben just fabulous? Yeah. Thank you guys so much for sharing with all of us this evening. My name is Greg Boris. I'm the current president of the Missoula Community Concert Band. We are a nonprofit organization, therefore we have a board that oversees the goings-on. I want to thank you all so much for coming out this evening. We're so pleased to have you here. We really hope you're enjoying the concert so far and giving your reaction to the pieces. It seems like that's what's going on. I do need to take a moment to recognize some of our generous supporters without whom this evening could not take place. First and foremost, I want to thank our concert sponsor, our big sponsor for this evening, Mindy Palmer. As you can see from the program, the advertisement in the program, Mindy is not your everyday kind of realtor. And we are glad of that and glad that she chose to support the concert and be our prime sponsor. We are also grateful to the support of all the other sponsors you see advertised in the program, and we hope that you will show your support of them out in the community and let them know how much you appreciate the fact that they support the community band. Because without them, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do. We also want to thank Michael McGill and the staff here at MCT for allowing us to use this space at a reduced rate, and it has kind of become the home of the Missoula Community Concert Band, and we're grateful for that. Next, I have to thank our conductor this evening, Lance Boyd, for his energy, patience, and fortitude, as well as his wonderful musicality and buoyant spirit. As I mentioned, you may have read in the program notes, often this spring session, we thought this concert was never going to happen. We had a lot of things come between us and rehearsal. We had injuries, we had lockouts from the building, all kinds of things. But Lance persevered, and he brought us together, whipped us into shape, and shared with us the joyous music that we are sharing with you this evening. So we are extremely grateful to you, Lance, and thanks for putting up with us. As I mentioned earlier, the Missoula Community Concert Band is a registered nonprofit, and we rely not only on our sponsors and advertisers for financial support, but the band members themselves also pay dues to be part of the band each semester. We're always ready to welcome new players who want to dust off that old instrument and get their chops back into shape. And being a member is about more than just preparing for a concert twice a year. We also give back to the Missoula musical community by sponsoring students who attend the University of Montana band camps in the summer, by supporting work with the Five Valleys Honor Band, and by performing special outreach concerts with local schools. Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, we are doing an outreach concert with Frenchtown schools who are preparing for the upcoming District Band Festival, and we'll be doing a couple pieces with them, and they will be sharing their music with us. So those are some of the things that the band gets up to. As a nonprofit organization, the Missoula Community Concert Band has a board of directors, as I mentioned, who work tirelessly behind the scenes to make events like tonight run smoothly. I'd like to introduce you now to our board and recognize them for their hard work and dedication. I'm going to have them each stand. If you could hold your applause until they're all standing, and then we will acknowledge our board members. So our past president, Meg Carnegie, our treasurer, Janet Boker, our secretary, Susan Hintz, our members at large, Wayne Yates, Jason Trish, who was not able to play with us this session, but I saw you out there in the audience. Where are you, Jason? There you go. Go ahead and stand. Jan Feddersen, and our librarian, Don Gisselbeck, we'd also like to acknowledge. So, the board of Missoula Community Concert Band. And of course, none of this would be possible without the support of you, our audience, through your attendance as well as your kind donations. And how can I donate to this worthy group of people, I want to hear you ask? Well, in case you missed it on the way in, there was a large tuba case sitting in the lobby that we hope that you might fill with your kind donations. If you happen to miss it on the way in, don't worry, it will be there again as you go out. And remember, since we are a nonprofit organization, all donations are tax deductible. So if you happen to have your checkbook with you, all the better. Now, as if there hasn't been enough excitement this evening with all of our pieces and Ben's wonderful addition to the concert, I would like to invite to the stage Mr. John Combs for a special presentation on behalf of the Arts Missoula Board. John, if you could join us up here.
Thank you, Greg. A couple of years ago, Arts Missoula decided that we needed to do something to recognize our arts stars. We live in Missoula, Montana, and in case you haven't noticed, we are a wealthy community when it comes to the arts. And the reason for that is because we have so many individuals that contribute on a daily basis to what's going on in this community. So, a couple of years ago, we decided once a month that we were going to recognize an arts star. We started to say a galaxy, and I think that would be about what we'd have to have, is because there are that many stars available here in Missoula. And so tonight we'd like to recognize this gentleman. Hold your applause. But Carl Smart, would you please come up here for just a moment? If you have ever been to the University of Montana Homecoming Parade, you'll see a couple of instances where Carl Smart has been a huge contributor. One is the Missoula Red Wave. Over 30 years ago, Carl invented the Red Wave. What kind of madman takes every 7th and 8th grader in the city of Missoula and puts them all together with 4 rehearsals and then sends them down the street in front of everyone? Oh, that would be Carl. And it has been a huge success. I can't tell you how many students have, and how many people in this state and city have gone through and been a member of the Red Wave. And then, interestingly enough, on the other end of the age group is the University of Montana Alumni Band. Gee, guess who's been involved with that for decades on end? And that would be Carl. That's just a tip of the iceberg of what Carl Smart has been for the band community. Oh gosh, and here he is playing tonight. Who'd have thought? It's just it's been a tremendous supporter, and he's an adjudicator. He's a helper. He gives private lessons to kids. I mean, it's just over and over and over, all for decades upon end, basically since 1980. Wasn't that when he came into town? 1980 as the Hellgate band director, and then went over and became a director of bands in the elementary district. So it's just been our pleasure as Arts Missoula to recognize, and now you can warm it up a little bit, recognize Mr. Carl Smart.
Congratulations, Carl. Since you came in 1980, that's working up on 40 years, right? Close to 40 years of music that Carl has been participating in Missoula. There's one more anniversary. It's a kind of a special thing, we think. There's an anniversary coming up this fall of an event that happened just, 100 years ago. So, Carl, you may not remember that one. But, on November 5th, 1919, the Rolling Stones came to Missoula. No. It wasn't the Rolling Stones, but for the time period, it was as big as the Rolling Stones. John Philip Sousa brought his band to Missoula for a special concert at the theater that is now the parking lot on just over the river. So the space is no longer here. However, newspaper articles still show the program from that evening. It was such a big event that school was actually canceled during the day, and students were brought in to hear a concert in the afternoon. And then in the evening was a special gala performance of John Philip Sousa and his band. This fall, the Missoula Community Concert Band hopes to recreate that concert. We don't have all of the venues exactly set, but we do have spaces reserved at the beginning of November next year, hopefully right on the actual 100th anniversary date. And we are bringing in a conductor who actually impersonates John Philip Sousa. So we hope that you will join us for that very special event next year, this next fall, the 100th anniversary of the John Philip Sousa Band visiting Missoula. So we hope you like that event, and we'll mark that on your calendar. Before I just have a last couple of things that I want to do, that I need to thank, things I need to point out. This evening's show is being videoed and recorded by MCAT as a special Missoula Community Access Media Assistance Grant, which was donated to the Missoula Community Concert Band, so that this concert can be preserved and also can be shared with those who cannot be in attendance tonight. So tell people about it. It will be replaying on MCAT. You'll be able to see the listing, and at a certain point you'll actually be able to stream it anytime, so you don't even need to watch it when it's in the regular schedule. So we are very grateful to MCAT for that, and they're in the back there, so we want to thank them. And finally, we do need to thank Mr. Michael Marsonic, who has become the voice of the Missoula Community Concert Band. And he does such a great job of keeping the evening moving on that I'm going to hand it all back to Michael so that we can continue with the second half of the program.
Gustav Holst is probably known best, of course, for his orchestral suite, The Planets. But Holst was also an avid band enthusiast, and his Moorside suite, from which our next selection, Moorside March, is taken, was commissioned for the British National Brass Band Championship at Crystal Palace, London, 1928. At the Crystal Palace, Holst listened to the piece 15 times and was deeply impressed by the players who, quote, combined the enthusiasm of amateurs with the skill of professionals. We hope you enjoy the combined enthusiasm and skill we present for you right now as we present Moorside March by Gustav Holst. final selection of the evening is Symphonic Songs for Band by Robert Russell Bennett. To most music fans, Robert Russell Bennett remains best known for his musical theater scoring and arranging. For decades, Bennett was Broadway's preeminent orchestrator, scoring all or part of nearly 300 musicals, including Anything Goes, Kiss Me Kate, Annie Get Your Gun, My Fair Lady, Oklahoma, The Sound of Music, and other immortal works. Symphonic Songs is Bennett's second work composed specifically for concert band. And as in his suite of old American dances, each of the three movements, serenade, spiritual, and celebration, is presented in Bennett's typical charming Americana style. We hope you enjoy our final piece of the evening, Robert Russell Bennett's Symphonic Songs for Band. Well, what a wonderful concert. We would like to thank you once again for joining us here tonight. Invite you to linger in the lobby for our post-show reception, where you can meet and mingle with band members and enjoy some special treats this evening. And in case you didn't notice it on the way in, we will once again have the tuba case out. That's 243-LOVE-YOUR-BAND or 800-PUT-YOUR-CASH in the tuba case. You'll have another opportunity on the way out. Before you go, we'd like to remind you about our special Sousa celebration coming up in the fall. It certainly will be an evening you will not want to miss. Hope you've enjoyed the music this evening as much as the band has enjoyed bringing it to you, and we hope you have a safe and pleasant evening. Of course, what would a band concert be without an encore? Would you like to hear another tune? Before you go marching out to the reception, I'd like to play one last piece for you with a theme inspired by a golfer who would whistle his warnings instead of shouting 4. It's not surprising that this march was named for the fictitious person who set the standard number of strokes for each golf course. Have you guessed what that is? We hope you enjoy it. We leave you with Kenneth Alford's Colonel Bogey March.
That's a different interpretation. This is a song that we're going to invite you to participate to whatever extent you feel like you want to. Clapping, whistling, Whatever you see us doing, you're welcome to join in.